this is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.
Work can be a little weird. Cringy training seminars, coworkers who won't stop talking about their plant, forgetting the mute button at an inopportune moment. We have to deal with a lot on any given workday. Sometimes it can feel hard to thrive and move forward in your career. Well, that's where LinkedIn comes in. LinkedIn helps you get ideas and insights from experts in your field, connect with people professionally, grow your network, and access tools designed to help you find the right fit for your next role. Whether you're just getting started, figuring out your next move, or looking to accelerate your career, LinkedIn is built to support you at every stage because LinkedIn is the network that works for you. Visit linkedin.com/knowstuff to learn more. Hey, and welcome to The Short Stuff. I'm Josh, and there's Chuck, and we're about to take you on a ride through a chicken's oviduct at some point in this episode. And why we're doing that is to explain why chicken eggs have different colors in some cases. And we're going to get really into the weeds on it, and it's going to be great.
That's right. And for this episode, we're going to pretend that eggs are not super expensive because we're going to talk about buying eggs and, stuff like that.
Right.
And that's just a fact of life. Eggs are really expensive right now. So let's just put that to the side for a moment.
Well, we also have to presume that you can even find the eggs to buy.
Yeah, that's a solid point.
Mm-hmm.
This came about because I just went on our fifth annual, Frigid Fiesta, which is my buddies and I try to get together and go to my camp on one of the coldest days of the year.
Yikes.
I make an MVC, Most Valuable Camper trophy. I earned that trophy for the first time this year. I'm very proud to say.
Congratulations. Wow.
Thank
What'd you do to earn it?
I sous vide some Wagyu steaks. Wow. I provided the camp. I think it finally dawned on everyone that that was kind of a big deal.
Uh-huh.
I partied in just the right way to impress everybody.
Nice.
And some other things. And that's generally how you win it. You kind of go above and beyond. And my comedy was on point. I was just on fire with the jokes.
Wow.
And DJing. I kind of had it in the bag. But long way of saying my buddy Justin, whom you know from London, England, who raises chickens.
Oh, I didn't know.
He always supplies the eggs. And he showed up with some olive eggs, some brown speckled eggs, a couple of sort of light tan eggs.
Mm-hmm.
And I just started wondering about it. And now I know, and I told Justin the deal as well, why his chickens are making different eggs.
Did he want to know that?
Yeah, he was very curious.
Okay, good. Well, Chuck, one of the things that I think immediately pops up that we can't possibly get past without mentioning first is that regardless of the color of the eggs, I really hope this is true, one is not necessarily more nutritious than the other.
Those brown eggs, you got to get those brown eggs. They're natural, Josh. They don't bleach them.
You're thinking of rice or flour.
Oh.
Non-brown chicken eggs are not bleached. That is not true. That would be a really bad thing to do to an egg. The white eggs that you see that make up the vast majority of the eggs that you buy in the United States, they come from leghorn chickens, as in foghorn leghorn.
Mm-hmm.
But he was a rooster. But the hens of his breed lay white eggs. They're not bleached. They just come out that way.
Yeah, and most eggs in the commercial egg industry in the United States are from leghorns.
Mm-hmm.
So most are white. So when you see like a fancy brown egg, it's the same egg. Well, that's if it's, not, the pasture raised and the stuff that were already expensive.
That's the one distinction, really.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that later. But a white egg is the same as a brown egg, nutritionally speaking. They come from the Leghorns, Orpingtons, and Plymouth Rocks. Those are varieties of chickens. They're going to lay the browns. Mm-hmm. There's a chicken called an Americana, and not Americana because it has an AU in there.
Mm-hmm.
That is a breed which gives it permeates, that pigment goes all the way through, and so the inside color of the egg is bluish as well as the outside, which is a pretty cool fact.
Yeah, we need to shout out a University of Georgia poultry scientist named, get this, Justin Fowler.
Amazing.
It is amazing. And so he provided a lot of the insight on how all of this works. And he basically said it's genetics. But you don't have to run a chicken's genome to figure out what color eggs it's going to produce. It's much easier than that. You can at least distinguish colored egg layers, not necessarily the color, but whether they're going to lay an egg that has some sort of tint to it versus ones that are going to lay just white eggs based on their earlobes. A couple of things about this. I didn't know that you could judge the color of a chicken's eggs by looking at its earlobes. I also didn't know that chickens had earlobes.
I knew you were going to say that because you know what? I told Justin that. He has chickens and he said the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen them a million times. They almost look like mutton chops, like Meatloaf from Rocky Horror Picture Show, but they're on chickens' faces instead. Those are their earlobes.
Can you imagine if his name was Greg Fowler?
Why?
He'd have the name Egg in his name too.
Oh, yeah.
He could go by GR Egg Fowler.
He could.
Anyway, if you got a white chicken, it's going to lay a white egg because they probably have white earlobes,
right,
or generally lighter earlobes or lighter feathers.
Mm-hmm.
If they have colored feathers and colored earlobes, they're going to have colored eggs.
Yeah, but again, not necessarily like the same color as that. But it just means that they're producing more pigment than other chickens, and they like to really show off by laying some of that pigment on the eggs. And I say we take a break and we come back and we take that trip down the oviduct when we return.
All right, let's do it.
Hey everybody, we're here to talk to you about Wayfair, who believes that spaces should be functional, they should be comfortable, they should be well designed, and they can be well designed by you with their help.
Your updated space should feel more comfortable, inviting, and practical for everyday use. And we're talking about outdoor seating. We're talking about grills. We're talking about major appliances. If you need storage solutions, Wayfair can help you out. Patio lighting, rugs, decor. It is your one-stop shop for home.
Yeah. I mean, it's getting nice out, so it's time to think about living outdoors for the next few months. And Wayfair knows that outdoor furniture, it's heavy, it's intimidating to assemble. So Wayfair has stepped in and said, we're going to handle the hard part so you don't have to.
That's right. You can shop Wayfair Verified, your shortcut to the good stuff. And that means their team of product specialists are going to vet everything by hand using a 10-point inspection, testing things like, quality materials, functionality, and features, and even how long it takes to build that piece of furniture. And the overall experience save time, reduce hassle, and improved convenience.
Patio season is here, and these deals won't last. So head to wayfair.com right now to get your outdoor space ready for way less. That's WAYFAIR.com.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
In business, there's no room for guesswork. Every shipment matters. Every deadline counts. When you're trying to keep operations running smoothly, the last thing you need is uncertainty.
That's right. That's why reliability is at the core of USPS Ground Advantage. From the moment your package is first scanned in, it moves through a secure, nationwide network, aiding in a timely and accurate delivery.
You get near real-time tracking so you can keep up with your shipments. And with affordable upfront pricing, there are no hidden fees or surprise surcharges to throw off your cost sheets.
That's right, and that all adds up to predictable deliveries that you can depend on. Because knowing your logistics are handled lets you focus on everything else, your customers, your team, and the future that you're building. Just visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to start shipping with confidence. USPS Ground Advantage.
Okay, Chuck, get your miner's cap on.
Mm-hmm.
Turn on the light.
Yep.
Maybe don some gloves.
Yeah.
And we're going to go in the oviduct of a chicken, a hen. And when you go in there, we're going to see the ova. That is the chicken yolk.
Mm-hmm.
And it forms in the chicken's ovaries. And an ovum leaves the ovary and it gets deposited in the oviduct. And it's almost like a cartoony conveyor belt. Like I can almost see like mechanical gloved hands shaping things along the way.
Yeah, for sure. In the oviduct, on that conveyor belt, there are going to be 5 different sort of in order, because it's a conveyor belt, segments that they're going to go through, that yolk is going to go through, or the ovum. And it's in the 4th one of those 5 where that shell is formed. It's a calcium carbonate shell that comes from the shell gland, and that is where the shell forms around the ovum, and that's where it gets pigmented.
Right. That's that's Greg Fowler's middle name. Shell gland.
Greg Shell Gland Fowler.
Or his fraternity nickname.
But they all start white, right?
Yeah, because they're made of calcium carbonate, and that is white in nature. It's so all chickens' eggs are white. That's all you really need to know, except for everything else that's about to follow. And that is that once the egg is formed, and it's a white egg, some kinds of chickens deposit a pigment on it.
Yeah.
Again, like the leghorn, white earlobe, no pigment deposit.
Yeah.
But other kinds, like you said, Plymouth Rocks, Orpingtons, Rhode Island Reds, they all put a little bit of pigment, I guess, just to kind of make the world a slightly brighter place. I can't think of any other reason for this, evolutionarily speaking, but we have narrowed it down to 2 distinct pigments that are responsible for the galaxy of colors. Maybe not galaxy, but the wide array of colors that chicken eggs come in.
Yeah, and do you know, by the way, I heard a recording of the actual sound. They got a microphone inside a chicken. The sound of the pigment being placed on it is kind of like this. Hey, let me try another take just in case.
Yeah. Does it come out of like a pastry frosting bag?
Yeah. Well, sure. You can call it that.
Gross.
All right. So back to, sorry about that. 12-year-old Chuck showed up for a minute. Those 2 pigments that, like you said, are the ones responsible for the different shades are biliverdin.
I like biliverdin.
And protoporphyrin.
Yep.
Or protoporphyrin.
Porphyrin.
Okay.
So
that's it.
Yeah, that is. Those 2 make the whole thing. The greens and blues are the biliverdin, and the protoporphyrin make the reddish browns.
That's right.
And it's not just chickens that this happens with. Robins lay Tiffany box blue eggs.
Oh, look at you.
I think it's usually described as robin's egg blue. But that's from the same process. It makes that same sound. Can we hear it again? Yeah. There's also a bird called the common murre, and they have a blue egg that sometimes is speckled. I think all of this is so wonderful, but really there's nothing that can compare to an Easter egg that's been dipped in a vinegar food dye dip or blend and held by that little wire thing that you kind of bring it out with, and then you start with the crayon and then you dye it. Like, let's see a chicken do that. Make a chevron pattern on your egg naturally, chicken. You can't do it.
I totally agree. And here's the thing. We talked about nutrition earlier, and you said it's all the same, and that's true. The inside of a white egg is the same as the inside of a brown egg. Mm-hmm. If you get the really, now they're super expensive. Yeah. Not the free range, because I worked in the chicken industry, and I've tried to dispel that myth that generally if it says free range, that just means that the door is open to the barn, but they're not really out there.
Same with cage free too.
Yeah, cage-free, but a genuine pasture-raised chicken, they can actually be more nutritious if they're foraging on greens and eating insects and things, that just a better variety of stuff that even the cage-free and the free-range aren't getting. If you get those really, really expensive pasture-raised ones, they may have slightly higher levels of omega-3 fatty acids and vitamins.
Yeah, and be forewarned, because in the United States, at least, the term pasture-raised is not regulated. You could slap that on any egg you wanted.
Do some research.
Luckily, there are some certification groups that go through and actually certify these are pasture-raised. So you want to look for certifications like Certified Humane is a legitimate one. That means that chicken actually was walking around, pecking at the ground, not in like some big metal shed with a trillion other chickens.
Yeah, and I'm going to recommend, especially now that eggs are so expensive, like try and source them locally. There, guarantee you in your town there is a farmer's market with some stinky hippie that's going to sell you some eggs in a funny-looking container, or at the very least a used egg carton from somewhere else. Mm-hmm. Or if you have a friend like I do that, they'll give us eggs, because those used to be like, oh gosh, they're so pricey, but their prices aren't jacked up because they're not, the locals aren't suffering from the commercial egg industry's woes. So now some of those are cheaper than grocery store eggs.
Yeah.
And you know where they're coming from. And they're walking around eating insects and grass.
Yeah, but there's some things that you need to know about this if you're eating locally sourced eggs. One is that they probably haven't been washed, which is fine. That they don't normally come washed unless you're buying the commercially produced eggs in Australia, the U.S., Japan. You have to wash them. The problem with washing an egg, though, is that it removes the little waxy coating that the egg is naturally encased in that keeps bacteria out of the shell. As hard as the shell seems, it's actually kind of porous, and bacteria can make it right into the egg and kill you and everyone you love. But that waxy coating keeps that from happening. The problem with all this is, and this is the reason why the United States and Japan and Australia require their commercially produced eggs to be washed, is that coating really hangs on to things like salmonella and chicken yard poop and all this stuff. So you kind of have to balance the two. Do you want salmonella or do you want E. coli? Which one do you want? So if you get locally sourced eggs, it makes sense to keep them unwashed until you want to eat them. Then you wash it, use a little bit of Dawn, some water, you wash that off, and then you eat it washed.
I would not recommend using Dawn, but that's just me.
Why? What's wrong with Dawn? I love Dawn.
Great.
They have a free and clear with it's got a little duck on it. It's totally natural.
Yeah, I'm sure it's free and clear.
It is.
The good thing, though, about getting eggs from your friends or someone that doesn't wash their eggs is you can just leave them out. They don't need to be refrigerated.
True that. But once you do wash them, you need to refrigerate them because, again, bacteria can invade them pretty easily.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, I've eaten dozens and dozens of those eggs from Justin. Never washed them. Never had a problem.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Did you get a little poop in your eggs?
No, they're great.
Cool. Well, there you go. Everything you need to know about locally sourced eggs from your friend Chuck B.
That's right.
Chuck said that's right, and that means obviously the short stuff is out.
Stuff You Should Know is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.